here and welcome to my fragrance obsession. It is currently 12:25 midnight and I have decided to do this sort of last minute review on a fragrance that is technically brand new. This fragrance came out at the end of August and it comes from the very popular but insanely good Salvatore Ferragamo house. And unfortunately I don't have a bottle of this fragrance, I just own a sample. In fact, I own 3 samples of this. And the fragrance is called Uomo by Salvatore Ferragamo. Now this fragrance, like I said before, came out in 2016 and it's known as a gourmand or a woody fragrance, depending on what you would call it. But this is actually one of my personal favorite gourmands ever released. Now I am a very big fan of one famous gourmand, which is known as Blue Sugar by Aquilina. This isn't exactly the same as Blue Sugar by Aquilina, but it's certainly very similar. This fragrance, even though it's designer, smells niche quality. It's amazing how much this one actually smells niche quality. Later, like previously in this year, I reviewed Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme, actually whilst my girlfriend Morgan was here, and that fragrance blew me away. Just the immediate quality of this very inexpensive scent, which was Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme. This one does not actually fail to amaze me. The perfumers for this fragrance, that is right, there is 2 perfumers for this fragrance, are Alberto Morillas and Aurélien Gouchard. Now, I am a huge fan of Alberto Morillas. Huge fan of his fragrances. I haven't actually smelled any fragrances by Aurélien Gouchard, but the fact that they work together on this fragrance is pretty amazing, because this fragrance really does smell good, and I'm sure that they've both added their little interpretations of their influences and whatnot into this fragrance. So I really do like that idea. Now, let's get onto the notes for Uomo by Salvatore Ferragamo. Now, in the top, we get black pepper, cardamom, and bergamot. In the middle, we get tiramisu, orange blossom, and ambroxan. And in the base notes, we get cashmere wood, sandalwood, and tonka bean. So a lot of nice notes in this fragrance, but the one note that's very dominant is the note of tiramisu. Now, I don't actually know a lot of fragrances that feature the note of tiramisu, but in this fragrance, it's very potent. If you like the smell of, let's say, coffee, toffee, if you like caramel, if you like a lot of sweet smells like chocolate and stuff like that, you will worship this fragrance, I am telling you. Now, I'm a big coffee fan. I don't like the taste of it, but I love the smell of it. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, like going into a coffee shop, the smell is quite welcoming, it's quite pleasant, and it's also got this sort of chilled out vibe to it, very relaxing smell. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like the tiramisu note, it's kind of like a coffee covered chocolate, which isn't very sweet. So it's not like a milk chocolate, it's more of like a dark chocolate, coffee sort of smell. But we will talk about the full fragrance. So I'm going to spray a little bit here, just on my wrist. Where is the... there it is. Okay. My goodness. Okay, so straight away, what you get when this fragrance opens, you get, the first thing that hits you is the tiramisu, by the way. It hits you right in the face, but don't think of it as a bad thing. It might come across a bit harsh at first, but don't let that become a bad thing for you, because underneath that, the bergamot is very, very intoxicating. And the reason I say that is because it smells amazing. It mixes so well with the black pepper in the opening, also with that little tiny touch of cardamom. The black pepper is what creates this slight spiciness to it, but overall it's got that bergamot. But because the tiramisu is in the middle of the fragrance, it's there throughout the whole scent. So just be aware that you will be getting that tiramisu in the opening. So if you do like citrusy sort of scents, you might actually notice the bergamot more than a person who probably does prefer tiramisu. So that's one good aspect. Another good aspect is the fact that if you do like tiramisu, then this is perfect for you, like I said. So a lot of black pepper, tiny touch of cardamom, and the bergamot sits nicely underneath all that. Overall, I think this is a very pleasant opening. It is, like I said, potent with that tiramisu, but like I said before, don't let it take away the good impression, because it is good that. It does have a nice aura to it. So, in terms of the middle notes, tiramisu, orange blossom, and then broxan, I mean, automatically the tiramisu's there still. And you don't really get the middle notes until maybe about half an hour, 45 minutes or so. Orange blossom also comes into the fragrance. It's quite powdery, floral, with that little bit of an orange zesty vibe to it. Very, very nice. Not my favourite note in the fragrance. It could be a little bit stronger. That's the only downside to it, but it does smell very, very pleasant. In terms of ambroxan, sadly, I don't get a lot of that, but I'm sure maybe smelling it a little bit more, I might actually get it. Now, in terms of the dry down for this fragrance is absolutely mesmerizing. You get that tonka bean. The tonka bean is just absolutely divine. It's like vanilla, so whenever you smell tonka bean, it is a little bit like a vanilla smell. So think of like smooth vanilla with that tiny touch of tiramisu in the background, because the tiramisu does dry down eventually. So you get like a vanilla coffee bean with a sort of cashmere vibe. So it's like sweet with that chocolate coffee with vanilla. It's just, it's amazing. It actually smells like a coffee shop. So I think wearing this to a coffee shop might not make you noticeable as much, I guess, but I think anybody who smells this, they might actually think, wow, you do smell like a coffee shop. Honestly, this is just an absolutely beautiful fragrance. Anybody who gets this fragrance, please appreciate it, because yes, it is a bit potent. Yes, it may come across as being a little bit harsh, a little bit, what's the word? It might attack you the first time you smell it, but don't let it bother you, because this fragrance really does turn into something very beautiful. And I'm just so happy. I mean, yes, these are 3 little samples, but I am going to be getting myself a bottle of this fragrance very, very soon, because it is bottle worthy. I mean, there's fragrances I review which I don't think are bottle worthy, but this is definitely one of the fragrances that I think is bottle worthy. So yes, just a very beautiful fragrance. Another thing I want to express my feelings on is the fact that this fragrance lasts for a very long time. I get about 11 hours out of this, and I'm not kidding. I guess it's because of the tiramisu note. The tiramisu, obviously, it's like coffee, so it's potent, it is strong, so it is going to last a long time. It's not really up until the 9th hour of wearing this fragrance that the tonka bean comes into play. But once the tonka bean comes in, that vanilla sort of note, that's when you know the dry down starts working its magic, because it really is something really, really magical. Just a beautiful fragrance. I think anybody who can get their hands on this will be guaranteed a good fragrance for them, personally, and I think it's a compliment getter. My mum really enjoys this fragrance. I'm actually going to be taking a little sample like this to America when I go over Christmas to see what my girlfriend thinks of it. I'm sure she'll enjoy it. But yes, it's an amazing fragrance. I think it's also very perfect for the autumn. That's why I've decided to review it, because it is a little bit colder tonight, and I'm wearing this big jumper. I mean, you're probably thinking, what's he got that on for? Well, the weather has been really cold, so it's a big transition from all the sunshine that we've had to just having these really cool nights, you know what I mean? So yes, I just want to say a big thank you for watching this review for Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo. I was about to say pour on there. Yes, this is a great fragrance. I would highly recommend sampling it before buying it. See what you think of it. It might not actually be your cup of tea or cup of coffee, give or take. Ignore the pun. But yes, you might actually really like this if you give it a try first. And yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who watches. And thank you so much for hitting me over 700 subscribers. I'm so thankful. Like, you guys are the reason I do this. I know I say that a lot, but it's the truth. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you all have a brilliant day, night, morning, depending on wherever you are in the world. I really do hope you're happy and healthy. So thank you so much for watching. Keep smelling good. Have a great time. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.